There has been ongoing studies on BCMA targeted CAR T cells. The study that we are going to be discussing today in detail is called BB2121. It's a CAR that targets BCMA, has 41BB as a co-stimulatory molecule and CD3 zeta chain, and the data from this study are really outstanding. For the 18 patients who got effective dose, 17 have responded, so 94% response rate. 10 of them, 56%, are complete remission, and 9 of those patients have MRD negativity. So we get very deep responses in these patients. Now this patient population is very advanced. Average cycles of treatments are 7. So they have lots of previous treatment, they are resistant disease, but even in them we see this good responses. So that's the most exciting part of the whole presentation. The second part is that we have to be still careful with the toxicity. So cytokine release syndrome does happen. However, compared to leukemia and lymphoma, CRS is much less common with BCMA CAR T and lesser degree. So 71 patients did get cytokine release syndrome. However, majority of them, except 2 patients, everyone had grade 1 or 2. Only 4 of the patients required tocilizumab. There was, in the first 18 patients, there were no one with neurotoxicity. So although there is cytokine release and other syndrome like complications that you see in CAR T, it's quite well tolerated. And so because of this reason, I think there is great enthusiasm. So now, following this study, there is a study which has started already, called KARMA study, CAR T in myeloma. And that study is a registration trial for FDA and other approval. And the hope and plan is to have 80 patients enrolled in this study and treated. And the eligibility for this study includes patients who have received proteasome inhibitor, immunomodulatory drug, and has received CD38 antibody, and they are resistant to the previous cycle. So these patients would end up getting CAR T at a dose of 150 or 300 million cells, and they'll be followed, and overall response is the main endpoint. Cost for myeloma CAR T we don't know yet because it's still not approved. Cost for lymphoma and leukemia, you are right, is quite high. In the United States, it is covered by insurance to some extent from what I know, but those are not the disease I treat. In myeloma, we don't know what the price is. And in some ways, that is correct, that prices are high and access could be a problem if one doesn't have insurance. On the other hand, one probably will have to think it as a replacement for transplant. So if one can get transplant, if this treatment is similar to that, that could be a similar price. Now, currently the price for lymphoma CAR is not same, it's much higher than transplant. But we have to keep that in mind. Also, currently the medicines for myeloma are expensive too. So we'll have to see what does it replace, and the insurance company will have to consider those. But the effectiveness is so outstanding that if utilized early, and if you don't use the other drugs or not have to use as much, I think there may be some economic balance about its use. So I think we'll have to see where it goes. Producing it is not going to be a problem. In our study, every patient we could produce CAR T cell. So production is not going to be a problem. Patient getting to it is not a problem. I think your point about price is important to keep in mind, but hopefully there will be a balance of how both will go on.